Hello everyone, my name is Marcos and I will show you how to deploy your Spring Boot Java application into the Azure cloud. Let's see, this is the application that I have. Let's see the Swagger, this is a backend API to manage your finances. Okay, this is the Swagger of this application, it's running locally. Look, you will need Azure account, the Azure CLI installed too, and the Docker installed and running in your machine. I will not show you this process, how to install Docker, neither how to install the Azure CLI. This is a process that you can see here in the documentation of the Azure CLI and in the Docker documents to install it too. Okay, let's focus in the process of deploy your Spring Boot application into the Azure. Okay, I will stop it, and now I will here. Let's create a Dockerfile. In this Dockerfile, we will put the configuration to build our image. I have some important information here. First of all, you need to create a container registry to connect to the Azure, but let's create the Dockerfile first. Dockerfile. I will put this information, all this information, in the description of the video to help you. Okay, first of all, let's create Dockerfile, new file, Dockerfile. Now let's create the configuration. Build stage. This is the process of build stage. I don't have any tests in this application. I'm skipping tests here because I don't have any tests in this application. Now let's run stage. Run stage. Okay. Expose the port 8080 and set this active profile. Why? Because we have two application YAML files here. This is to run locally, and this is for production. When you deploy your application, you can put your profile here. I put the prod environment, and this will be selected when the application is deployed in Azure. Okay, it's okay. Let's open the terminal here inside this, the same folder here, backend, and let's get the command to build the image. To build the image, Docker image, you will need this command. And in the cloud we have Linux, and because this will need this platform here. If you use this simple command, you'll be able to create your image. I will put this my API. This is the name of image that you will build. Okay, let's run it. Let's run it. It's creating the image. This is not take too long. It's so fast to build it. This will not take too long. Let's wait it finish, and you go to the next step. Okay, image build. Let's go to the next step. Next step, tag the image and push to Docker. Okay, we will not able to do this because we need to create the container registry in the cloud. But let's see the image here. Docker image. My API. This is the image that we created right now. Let's go to the Azure and create the container registry. Remember, you need Azure account to do this. Let's drink some water. Okay, let's create a resource container registry. Container registry. Okay, let's create it. Query where it is. Azure Red Container Apps Environment. Where is Container Registry? Yeah, registry. Container registry. This is the option. Container registry. Azure subscription. This is my subscription. Plan container registry. Create. Group. We need a resource group. I have this resource group, but I create new one to help you to understand this. I will put here YouTube container registry. Excuse me, resource group. YouTube resource group. Okay. So we selected YouTube resource group, and let's put a name here to this. I will put my API. That's my financial API. My API. Oh, my new financial API. Resource names may contain alphanumeric characters only, must be between 5 and 50 characters. Let's put my financial app, my financial API. Okay, it's okay. Let's select the location. Location will be West US. Domain name label scope. Let's see what we have here. Unsecured. Let's put this. Registry domain name. Okay, this is automatically generated. We cannot change it. Pricing plan, standard. Okay, standard. Next. Networking. Okay, networking. Encryption. Tags. Review and create. Let's create it. Validate it. validation pass. Okay, let's create it. Deployment in progress. This container registry, we use it to put the image that we created locally. We push the image to this container registry. Results. So now we have this here. And look, we will need this name login server. This will be an important part that we will need. And we have another option here that is access keys. Access keys is disabled by default, but we need to enable admin user. Mark this checkbox. And this will generate a password that will need this password here. So copy this username, let's put this here, and show the password. No problem to show you because I will delete this after this class have done. No worry. Okay, let's back here, login server. It's important to us too. And let's to the next step. Next step now is push our created image here. Remember my API image to the container registry that we created right now. Okay, but first of all, we need to use Azure CLI to log in that container registry. Look. Container registry name. What is the container registry name? Let's see here. Registry name. This is the registry name. You need this to put here in this command. Container registry name, and let's log into it. Here. Let's wait a moment until it finishes. Login success. Okay, I think this appeared success because I had login in this before, but you need this when it asks for user and password. You need this user and this password that you can find it here. User and password to log in. Let me try to log out and try to log in again. Let me see if I can log out. Azure log out. Logout is misspelled. I don't know if this command exists. Let me see. Azure CLI log out. Let's see how to log out. Create log out. Azure account clear. To clear, it is in Portuguese because my computer is in Portuguese too. Okay, let's try this command. Azure account clear. Okay, let's try to log in again. Username. Okay, this is asking for the username. Remember, the username is here. This username. name, username, and password is here. Password. Logged successfully. Okay, let's go to the next step. We have let's recap. We created a Dockerfile inside our API. We created Docker image. Now we logged in Azure. And now we need to log in Docker. We need to bind our Docker with the Azure account. We will need this information here. This login server. This login server to connect Docker login here. Login server. Success. Perfect. The next step is tag the image. We need this, and here we'll put the login server slash the name of the image that we created. Remember the name of the image we created here, my API. So let's tag it here. The image Docker tag my API Docker. Sorry, there is a lot of command here. Yeah, I think it's this. Tag the image. It's wrong. Wait a moment. I chose the wrong command. Sorry. Let's do it again. Just a moment. Let's take the name of the. Let's back here. Login server. Login server. Tag. Okay. Docker tag. Name of the image. Version. Azure login server. Okay, let's tag it. Tagged successfully. Let's see what's happened. Docker image. And now we have this here. The same image here, but now it's tagged here. Okay, now it's time to push it to Doc using Docker push to Azure. We use the same login server here, login server Azure. If you look at it, you see that is the same name here, the image that we tagged. Let's copy it to help you to understand better. It's like this. Okay, Docker push. Let's copy it and try to push the image. My financial API. It's pushing it to the Azure cloud. Okay, finished. Let's see what happened here. Overview. Okay. We cannot see it here, but we we'll see this in the next step. Okay, the step of containing registry is done. Now the next step will be create container app. We have container container app here. Container app, container app, and now Azure subscription, container app create. Let's select the YouTube resource group that we created. Remember, it's a good practice. Use this RG that represents registry group. Let's put a name here. This will be my financial API. My financial API. Optimize functions. Container image. This is an important step because we will use image that we created. Container image, build and deploy your own code without using a Docker. No, build your own container registry or build a container from Dockerfile. Perfect. US, and we have here the environment. We need an environment. For example, if you need to create some environment variables for your application, maybe we need to create a new environment here. And you can put, for example, YouTube env for your application. Monitor networking. I'll not discuss about the others, just create here. And here you select resource group and the name of the container, container image, and resource group here that we created. Next. Now is the part that we'll use the image that we created in Docker locally in our machine and push into container registry. Now this is the step to select that. This is a container registry that we created, my financial API, and the image will be my API, and the version will be 0.0.1. Okay. Command override will not use it. Arguments override will not use it. Development stack, it's important. We'll select Java. This is workload profile. I will not make any change here, but we are using Java application, and Java application most part of the time consume more memory and process the others application. We can increase this value here to 1 CPU cores and 2 gigabytes of memory. And for example, if your application has configuration to connect to the databases, and for example, my application needs to connect to database, and I will need to put here the name. For example, if you go here and open this Spring application production, we'll see here some variables that I will need to create. For example, this key store and Redis password because this application has a use cache, and we need the URL to the database too, and we'll need to put this information here. For example, URL for the API, URL for the database, password for Redis password, and key store password. We needed two. Key store password. JWT key store password. We need these two. This will be so important because without this information, these variables, our application cannot run. I will create here. This application will not able to run, but afterwards I will update. Let's update here. Okay, I put the information about the environment there, and let's finish it. But we need to configure the ingress. Ingress is so important. Limited container apps environment accepting traffic from anywhere. Okay, target port. This part is so important. Insecure connections. And put the port here 88. That is the internal port of our application. And this is important because without this, we are not able to reach out our application. So let's create it. I don't remember right now if I need to mark these insecure connections. I don't remember. Let's create it. Review, find the name, subscription, on YouTube, my financial app, okay, environment, Azure, okay, let's create it. If everything goes well, the application will be up and we will be able to access the Swagger of this application, and this application is almost ready to connections. Why almost ready to connections? Because we need to configure the cores. The cores it's so important because without configure the cores, this application will not able to reset connections from different environments, different front ends, for example. If I open Postman and make a request to this API, I will be able to open it. But when I try to call the API using a front end, I will receive core errors. One option is configure cores inside your application like I did here. For example, I have this configuration here, secured config, web security config, and I put here the URL from the front end and the localhost 2 here. This is the option, just one option to accept requests from another environment. For example, my application front end is in Vercel, but the backend is in Azure. Let's see, this process takes some time to finish. We need to wait it finish to see. Let's see what's happening here. Inputs, deployment in progress. And after you finish, you will see here Container registry, this is a recap. Container registry that we created and push the image that we created locally. Resource group that is important to this process too, and container app. This container app will use the resource group, the container registry, and create and up our application. And if everything goes well, this is the last part, and we'll be able to see the application up. But this takes some time. We need to wait it until the end. And one so important thing is, for example, Marcos, I created my application, but I find some errors inside it, and I need create a new version. Okay, you will repeat this process of creation of image, tag image, and push it to container registry. After it, for example, you have a new version of your Docker image. You use here, you can come here, revisions and replications, and we will be able to create a new version. For example, here we can see the application is running. Let's see some logs. Okay, the application is running. No errors. It's a red up. Perfect. Let's try to access this application. Container. This is the version tag 001. For example, think you put a different image to this application. You will see, for example, 00.2, and you select it, save as a new version, and the new version that you push to your container registry will be deployed. Now let's see here how to access this. Okay, I finished. This is my application. How to access this API? If you go here, application URL, you can open here and see the Swagger. We received 04. We received 401 because this application has a Spring Security active, and now we access the Swagger because the Swagger is free, route free. This is the Swagger name. Let's try to open it. And voila! Our application is running in the Azure cloud. Perfect. Very perfect.